Have you ever completed a 10-star run and found that you collected 14 special items when you're sure that you've only grabbed 6? Have you ever watched somebody get 10 stars and wondered where their extra special items came from? Well, it turns out it's a lot simpler than you'd think. It's a bug that can all be traced to one bit. There's a certain address which determines IGT overflow, special items count, and the color of the Hyper Blaster. We will number the bits 1 to 8, going from right to left. The first bit from the right, to be honest, I have no idea what it does. The second and third bits act as IGT overflow. What I want to focus on are bits 4 through 8. The 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th bits all determine how many special items you've received. This will be reflected in the results screen at the end of the game. Turning the 4th bit on adds 1 to your special item count. Turning the 5th bit on adds 2 to your special items count. Turning the 6th bit on adds 4 to your special items count. And turning the 7th bit on adds 8 to your special items count. This is an odd decision since there are only 6 special items in the game. Perhaps they intended for there to be more and the idea was scrapped. I do not know. Turning the 8th bit on adds green status to your Hyper Blaster. When you have the green Hyper Blaster in your inventory, this bit will remain on throughout the entire playthrough. If you can access the game's memory, you can actually toggle between the standard red Hyper Blaster and the green Hyper Blaster by turning this bit on and off during gameplay. Let's talk about the Hyper Blasters for a minute. There are 3 Hyper Blasters in the game. Red, which is the standard, is obtained by loading the next sphere file after getting the UFO ending. The next Hyper Blaster you get, Yellow, is obtained by loading the next sphere file after getting 8 or more stars but less than 10 stars with the Hyper Blaster in your inventory. And Green, which is the strongest of the 3, is obtained by loading the next sphere file after getting 10 stars with a Hyper Blaster in your inventory. If the Hyper Blaster can be changed from red to green by flipping the 8th bit on, can you get the yellow Hyper Blaster in a similar manner? Yes, you can. It turns out bit 7, the same bit that adds 8 special items to the results screen, also adds the yellow status to the Hyper Blaster, in the same way that the 8th bit adds the green status. Which means that having the yellow Hyper Blaster in your inventory will keep this bit on until the very end of the game, where it will also add 8 special items to your final count. Beating the game with the yellow Hyper Blaster in your inventory confuses the game into thinking that you have 8 special items more than you do. It's not just a graphical glitch either. The game actually counts these 8 items toward your final score, so you do not have to pick up the Channeling Stone, Gasoline, Katana, Chainsaw, or Rock Drill if you have the yellow Hyper Blaster in your inventory. I found this bug on the SLUS 00707 US 1.1 version and the SLPM 86192 1.0 Japanese version. The SLPM 87029 Silent Hill PS1 Books Japanese version and the SLES 01514 PAL version did not appear to have this bug, so it was likely patched out, much like how the amusement park skip was patched out of the PAL version. And that is all. Join us next time as we explore a misunderstood 10-star condition, shooting style. Thanks for watching.